The story is The Flowering Tree. There was a king and a queen. They had 2 daughters. The eldest was married, and they had a son, the prince. Now, outside of the kingdom, there was an old woman who did menial tasks, and she had 2 daughters. Now, the youngest daughter, when she reached puberty, said to the oldest daughter, "Oh, sister, mother is always doing such menial tasks for our sake. Let's surprise her with something, some money. I can become a flowering tree. You can pick all the flowers you want, and then we can make garlands out of them and sell them in the king's palace." The oldest sister said, "That's a great idea. But how are you going to become a flowering tree?" She said, "Oh, well, let me instruct you. Clean out a place under a tree, sweep it well. Then go to the well and fetch 2 pitchers of water. Bring them up without touching them with your fingernails. I will meditate on God, and then the first pitcher, pour it over me. I'll become the flowering tree. Pick as many flowers as you wish. Just be careful. Don't break a branch and don't tear a leaf. Then pour the second pitcher over me, and I'll return to my real self." And so, the oldest sister followed the instructions, prepared the vessels of water, and the youngest sister meditated on God. Sister poured the first pitcher over her, and the sister became a flowering tree. The older sister took a basket and, every beautiful flower, gently and very delicately she plucked into the basket, took as many as she wished, and then took that second pitcher of water, poured it over her sister, and her sister became herself again. "Oh, let's hurry. Let's go to the king's palace now. Oh, mother will be so surprised." And off they went. Now, they sold those flowers in the palace, and the queen and her youngest daughter and the prince were there. And the youngest daughter said, "Mother, I love those flowers. They smell. Let's buy all of them." And so they did. And the sisters had all this money, and they knew how happy their mother would be. "Don't tell her, we'll surprise her." And they dashed off. Now the prince, he saw the flowers too. He thought, where do such fine flowers come from? The scent is heavenly. Where? So he decided to follow the girls outside the kingdom. He got to their house and he was confused. There was no flowering tree anywhere. And then he saw a girl become a flowering tree. He couldn't believe his eyes, and he stumbled all the way home in a daze, and he got to his home. He fell face down into his bed, and he wouldn't move. He wouldn't eat. He would just lie there. Well, the king became worried. "What's wrong with my son? Why doesn't he eat? What's wrong? It's been days." He sent in the finest physicians. He sent in everyone, but no one could awake him and find out what was wrong. Finally, the king said, "Send in his best friend. Surely his best friend will know what's wrong with him." So the best friend went in and said, "Hey, come on, Prince. You can tell me. I'm your best friend. What's going on?" And the prince, he awoke and he said, "Outside the kingdom, I saw a girl become a flowering tree." This friend said, "Is that all?" He went back to the king and he said, "He's in love. Some girl outside of the kingdom." "Is that what it is?" The king said. So he sent his emissaries to the old woman's house to find out where the girl was. When they knocked on the door, the old woman answered it. He said, "You have a daughter here. She is to be married to the prince." The old woman was like, "What? How do they know that I have a daughter?" "You are to go before the king." So The mother went before the king, and she was worried. I'm just an old woman. What will I do without my daughters? And the king said, I wish your daughter to be married to my son. He ceremoniously had a silver platter with a betel nut and a betel leaf, offering it as betrothal. The old woman was afraid to take it, but he forced it on her. She took it back to the house. And when she got there, she was furious, and she began to beat her daughters. How dare you do this to me? I'm an old woman to put me in this situation. And she beat them, and the girl said, no, mother, stop. Look, we have money. We sold flowers in the prince's palace, and they have money for you. What are you telling? What are you doing? How could you have received that money? No, I became a flowering tree. That's how we sold the flowers. What lies? Becoming a flowering tree, it's ridiculous. And the girl, she had to show her mother to become a flowering tree. The mother went back to the palace when they set a date for the wedding. And then she realized this might not be such a bad idea after all. And so they had the wedding. Fantastic 3 days of festivities and singing and dancing. And then in the bedchamber, the wife, she sat patiently, but her husband said nothing. Another day passed, and on the third night, still, he did not touch her at all. And she said, My husband, what is it that you wish of me? I am your wife. And the prince said, I want you to become a flowering tree. Oh, my lord, I am not a demon. I am not a goddess. I am a mere mortal. I know you can become a flowering tree. That's what I want. Ah, all right, I will do as you wish. And so she instructed him the ritual. And she said, just be careful. Don't break a branch, and don't tear a leaf. He agreed. He swept out a place for her. She meditated on God and said mantras over the water. He poured the first vessel over her, and she became a flowering tree. And as he gazed upon his beloved, he very gently and very lovingly picked flower after flower and tossed them onto their bed. And then he poured the second pitcher over her, and she became again herself. And that evening they made wonderful love in the bed of flowers of heavenly scent, and they did that night after night. And each morning they would throw the flowers out the window, and it would lie down the hill in a heap. Now the prince's younger sister, Mother, why is it that they have all these flowers and none for me? What is this secret? So the younger sister, she spied and found out the secret. And one day, the younger sister said, Mother, I'd like to take sister-in-law down to the swings with my maidens. Can I? And so, that day, they went down to the swings, and they had a lovely time until the afternoon came in, and the dark clouds did as well. And then the prince's younger sister surrounded his wife with her maidens and said, I want you to become a flowering tree.